Hi, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, good morning, good night. It doesn't matter where you are. Anderson Chess is my name. I'm so excited to speak to you today on this webinar. Of course, it's a pre-recorded webinar, and tonight we're going to speak about the Success Factory. I think you can see my screen. So if you are seeing my screen, it's going to make life much better. But guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually put my camera on so you can actually see who you are speaking with. And I'm glad to speak to you today about the Success Factory. Ladies and gentlemen, the Success Factory is a global network marketing company, and we are about helping people move from point A to point B with regards to success. Yes, the name of the company is called Success Factory, and that is exactly what we do. We create success stories all around the world. But of course, for the sake of time, what I'm going to do is jump directly into our presentation so you can understand what we are doing and why we are actually here today. Now, guess what? The current educational system, ladies and gentlemen, is unfortunately broken. I believe that. I believe a lot of people bought into what I call the 40-40-40 gimmick or scam, if you want to call it like that. I don't really like to say those strong words all the time. But the reality is a lot of people have bought into the idea that 40 hours a week for 40 years, and of course retire, or the 40% pension is where it's at. The reality is, ladies and gentlemen, our current educational system really taught us to, you know what, go to school, get good grades, and then get a good job and actually live happily ever after. And that's not the way the system works, ladies and gentlemen. It's actually totally different to that. As a matter of fact, there's no such thing as job security. I'm not too sure how many of you heard that, but there's no such thing as job security in this world today. As a matter of fact, the digital age we are living in, it's taking away jobs from people all the time. But yet still, a lot of people are being educated for the 21st century using 19th century techniques or preparing them for 19th century jobs. As a matter of fact, a lot of jobs now are becoming obsolete. Look at, for example, Uber, for instance, in the transport industry. As a matter of fact, Uber doesn't own a vehicle, but guess what, ladies and gentlemen? They are one of the biggest transport companies in the world. Today, we communicate via WhatsApp and Skype. Well, Skype is like an older technology, but WhatsApp and voice over IP and pictures and so on and videos, it's a big thing now. But telecommunication companies over the last decade or 2 decades was the huge player in the market. But now it's different, okay? The industry has changed. So a lot of people cannot believe that, hey, you know what? Like back in the day, if I got a job in the telephone company, I'm going to be set for life. Well, ladies and gentlemen, it is not so. Even in the music industry. As a matter of fact, right now in the music industry, people who had record companies like, big record stores and people who used to produce cassettes and even people who used to produce, VHS movies, rental, Betamax, all these different things, it's out the door today, ladies and gentlemen. As a matter of fact, Kodak, one of the biggest providers of cameras back in the day, is out of business from the perspective of dominance today. And that is because technology, digitization has kicked in. And a lot of people now don't understand that, hey, you know what? The educational system I am using today is probably training me to work in an industry that is going to be obsolete. So ladies and gentlemen, we believe that it is outdated. We believe that people are being trained to be 9-to-5 slaves, not really entrepreneurs or successful business owners. And this is one of the challenges we have, because if you look at the system that we live in, ladies and gentlemen, there are different types of education for low-income students and elite students. Look at the classrooms. Elite students operate in a totally different classroom in comparison to the low-income students. As a matter of fact, if you look at this slide properly that I'm showing you here, people who live in the quote-unquote ghettos or the slums or the less fortunate areas in the world, the chances of becoming successful is highly unlikely in comparison to someone who lives in an upbeat area, or in a nice area. Now, the thing is, I'm not stereotyping. I'm just saying the chances are, because of what they are exposed to, the way they are educated, the people that they're around, the nuggets that they get, the mental capacity that they will have to appreciate finer things in life in comparison to people who may not have that level of exposure on a daily basis. And I'm saying that because I You know, even where I came from, the schooling system, the children write the same exams at the end of the term or at the end of their career path in school, but there are different books that different students get. The Ivy League school gets a different book in comparison to the low-level schools, but they write the same exam. How could that be, ladies and gentlemen? The reality is, it is what it is. So I'm saying to you, what can happen in the system and what has continued to happen is the rich continues to get rich and the poor continues to get poor. And this is why, ladies and gentlemen, at the Success Factory, our primary goal is to attack the educational system. And we want to attack that from giving people theoretical and practical information to help you move to the next level. So I'm very excited to speak about the Success Factory because this company is the business of the 21st century. I say this all the time. And if you are listening to this call, look into this webinar, this pre-recorded webinar, it's important that you take notes, okay? It's very, very important that you take copious notes, and maybe you can play this over and over and over to get a real understanding of why we created the Success Factory and what we are actually doing. Now, look at my slide. In the system that we are brought to believe in terms of the system that we grew up in, they don't teach any education specifically about money. There's nothing, actually. I mean, you can go, you know, throughout your entire school career and learn nothing about money. What is money? You know, how does money work? How do you invest money? You know, where's the future of money? A lot of people don't know these questions. They just think the money is the dollar that we use and we transfer and we go to the bank. But a lot of people don't understand the value of money. How does money get its value? How does it move around? How to invest it? How to have money work for us? A lot of people don't understand that. And this is why we need to speak about this from the perspective of getting people out of the quote unquote rat race. And this is exactly what we do at the Success Factory. So we give you theoretical information as well as practical. Now let's look at this overview. This is an overview of the history of money. Now, if you are taking notes, you can do that, but most of us already know that, hey, you know what? We started with a bartering system. Most people know that. We started exchanging goods for goods, okay? And then we move into metal coins, and around the 7th century, and then we move into the paper currency, ladies and gentlemen. Then we move into checks. Now, all of these things came about as a result to make the money transfer, the medium of exchange, easier, okay? Then we move from checks to plastic cards. I remember in my time when the plastic cards became, you know, something of value, of real use. And then we move into online banking. How many people remember that when we didn't know anything about online and some people said, you know, I'm not going to put my credit cards online. I'm not going to do any banking online because people are going to figure me out and steal my information. But then we moved from online banking, which was absolutely wonderful, into mobile payments using our smartphones, ladies and gentlemen. Now, there's a lot of people, especially, they use their phones to do business. Again, more convenience. But now, ladies and gentlemen, we have moved into the realm of cryptocurrency. Could you imagine that? Digital payments. Now, the amazing thing about this piece of the slideshow is that people don't understand that every time money changes its form and becomes more convenient for people to use, there's a group of people who understand trends and position themselves ahead of the trend to benefit. Could you imagine that? Could you imagine you being one of the founders of the Visa MasterCard movement, where, you know, every transaction that took place, you had the opportunity to get a little bit of a transaction fee? Well, ladies and gentlemen, you know, the possibility do exist now because, hey, in the world of digital currency, people are really picking it up by storm. And I'm speaking about that specifically about blockchain technology, the Bitcoin era that people said, you know, since in 2009 has become a real critical thing now in the world that people love using as a medium of exchange. We're going to talk about that in a moment. But the thing about it is that, hey, you know what? The reason why this is happening is because of what is going on in the world today. As a matter of fact, in the world today, our money is not backed up by anything. You know, back in the day when our money was backed up by gold, we had no choice but to only print a certain amount of money that was backed up by something of intrinsic value. Well, ladies and gentlemen, let me give you an example of what happened. What happened in 1971 is President Richard Nixon the then US president, what he decided to do is to remove the gold standard from the US dollar. Could you imagine that? So what that did, it gave us the opportunity, I'm speaking about the US government, that is, the Federal Reserve, that is, the opportunity to print more money than we had any intrinsic value on. What that means, ladies and gentlemen, people started to print money like crazy. And because there's so much money in the system, there's more supply than demand in the system. It led to enormous inflations over a period of time with nothing backing it up. Now, ladies and gentlemen, this is considered a Nixon shock. I'm speaking about this because it's the reality, okay? This is a presentation I want you to listen to from the perspective of understanding what's really happening in the world. Now, what happened was, over the last couple of years, you see the inflation levels in many of the biggest countries in the world. But as a result of that, I remember in 2008, there was a big financial crisis, and some of you know that as well. And you saw what happened back then. But I'm going to talk about that for a minute. But the world itself today is moving for cashless business, cashless transaction, cashless medium of exchange. And I'm saying that because right now, if you look at Sweden, for example, only 3% of all their payments are made in cash. 3%, only 3, which means 97% of the population or transactions that they do is digital. If you look at Kenya, an African country, 66% of Kenya use M-Pesa as a form of payment, which is a cashless payment. 66% of Kenya, which is 45 million people, 66% of them use M-Pesa. What does that mean? It means that the world is moving cashless, okay? The world is moving to a place where more and more people appreciate the cashless rate. And I'm speaking about that from the perspective of now we are speaking digital currency. And this is one of the things I love about the Success Factory. We don't only give you the theoretical part of the information, we also give you practical. And let me talk about this for a moment. The thing about it is that most people are getting smarter in the world. Most people understand that the current financial system is not going to last forever. It's going to change at some point in time. But guess what? Now is the time, because now we are moving into real digital transactions, the realm of digital transactions. So what has happened is some people said to each other back in 2008, why is it we cannot create our own system? After 2008, there was this big financial crisis where Merrill Lynch crashed, AIG crashed, and a lot of different companies that was there for a long period of time, for years, as a matter of fact, didn't make it through the financial crisis. A group of people said, you know what? We deserve a transparent system. We need a transparent system. We're going to create something, and we're going to use a blockchain technology, which was designed by Mr. Satoshi Nakamoto, or the pseudonym Satoshi Nakamoto. I'm not too sure what it means. I heard the meaning of it, but I can't remember right now. But the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, people said, what if we, or this group of people said, what if we can create a system where there's a fixed amount, not printing, where there's faster transactions, where there's low transaction fees, advanced privacy, accessible for everyone, which is global. What if we could create a technology to use currency or money like that? That would be a fantastic thing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, in 2008, 2009, somewhere thereabout, the world was introduced to Bitcoin, which now is the first cryptocurrency, or the mother of all cryptocurrencies, running on the blockchain technology. Now, let me distinguish. The blockchain is not Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not blockchain. Bitcoin runs on the blockchain, okay? But the reality is, since Bitcoin came out at a simple value of between 3 and 10 cents for one back in the day, you know what? A lot of people didn't believe in the technology. A lot of people said, hey, this is a scam. This is a pyramid game. This is some type of money-making scheme that, how can I use something which is in thin air? I can't feel it. I cannot touch it. How can I use this thing to transfer to people? And then you say, this is money. This is crazy. Well, I'm so happy to say that this is now 2018, 10 years later since the technology was introduced. And ladies and gentlemen, the value of the coin went from between 3 and 10 cents back then to today, it's over 6,000 US per coin. As a matter of fact, late 2017 went all the way up to almost 20,000 US per coin. What does that mean? It means that people started to gain confidence and trust in the technology, using the technology. So I'm not going to talk about who became multimillionaires, but the fact is the value really went up from that little between 3 and 10 cents to today it's over 6,000 US for one. Guess what, ladies and gentlemen? Even though that technology, which Bitcoin was introduced on, which is a blockchain technology, is a fantastic technology. As a matter of fact, I think the blockchain technology is going to revolutionize our world. I really, really believe that in some significant ways, especially with smart contracts and manufacturing and managing, sales teams and stuff like that. But with regards to cryptocurrencies, so far, which is based on the blockchain technology, we have one common goal, which is changing the financial system. And we must understand what we need to do if that is the case, what we need to look at if that is the case, what we need to see if that is the case. As a matter of fact, the blockchain technology has been doing a fantastic job. But I'm going to talk to you about a couple issues that we have with the blockchain technology. Now, doesn't mean that the blockchain technology is a bad thing. I'm speaking about the blockchain from the perspective of doing business as a currency. One, it is expensive. The transaction fees are high, okay? Also, the speeds are not fast enough for mass market, okay? I'm speaking about this from the perspective of the technology, okay? The reason why the transaction fees are high is because of this technology that we use. The technology that blockchain use has a lot to do with miners, mining capacity, and scalability. Scalability meaning a lot of people using the technology, a lot of people using the blockchain technology. Guess what? When there's a lot of people on the blockchain technology, in many cases, the blockchain becomes slower, okay? And as a result of it, so many people on the system and is also slower, ladies and gentlemen, the transaction fees goes up because of the miners and the proof of work and all the proof of stake and everything that's happening. I don't need to explain all of that to you on this call, but that is one of the challenges people have with the current financial model of using cryptocurrency for mass market use. It is expensive, and I'm a Bitcoin user. As a matter of fact, I use cryptocurrencies every week to do transactions, but the cost is very high. But let me talk about a little bit more about cryptocurrencies. What has been happening with cryptocurrencies? Now, if you are listening to me and you're on this webinar looking at this video, you would know that I'm making sense, because a lot of people who think about cryptocurrency, from the time the word goes into their mind, cryptocurrency, the first thing they think about is trading. How can I become a multi-millionaire? How? Because this cryptocurrency is big business. This is the future. Blockchain technology this, blockchain technology that, Bitcoin this, Bitcoin that, this one that. And they think about using this thing from the perspective of being a trader. Now, if you are a trader, fantastic. This is going to be fantastic for you, because you're going to like the pips that you get with the volatility and the speculation. You're going to love it. But what we focus on, and this is one of the challenges that people face with cryptocurrencies, they are not focusing on cryptocurrency as an everyday currency that the masses can use. They more focus on it from the perspective of trading. Let's look at the volatility. The issue of usability from the perspective of a merchant is that I, being a merchant, you being a merchant, does not want to accept a coin that is $500 in value today, and tomorrow is $350 or $400 next week, and then 2 weeks later it's back up to $600. No, we don't want a coin like that. We don't want that speculation. We don't want that measure of volatility or risk, because, hey, I'm doing business. I need to buy my supplies. I gave you my product or my service for a certain price, but now it's time for me to buy back or to pay my suppliers. I have less money to do so. That is one of the challenges we have with merchants. So merchants don't accept many of the top cryptocurrencies in the world because it is just too volatile, okay? And that's one of the challenges. But what we need to focus on, if we are to speak about cryptocurrencies, and you are looking on this webinar, this video, we need to focus on the right values with regards to cryptocurrencies, okay? And this is why I love the Success Factory, because we educate people on the values, which is the users, the amount of users we have in the community who are using the coins, the usability, the usage of the coin, or the use cases of the coin, the technology, the environmental effects. I can talk about the environmental effects for a long period of time with regards to the current major technology with regards to mining and the electricity fees and so on, the way it damages the environment, and last but not least, trust. These are some of the values we need to focus on. As a matter of fact, look at this here, because this is the real up-to-date information. When you're speaking about cryptocurrency and using cryptocurrency as a mass market usable currency, so to speak, we must discuss scalability, which is based on more and more people using the system. We must speak about scalability. And guess what? Bitcoin does about 7 transactions per second. We have Ethereum does about 25 transactions per second. And some of the best blockchains in the world, would give you about 3,000 to 5,000 transactions per second. Visa and MasterCard gives you like 56,000 transactions per second. But the technology I want to speak about tonight is called the DAG chain technology. DAG, it stands for Directed Acyclic Graph. If you want to find out more about this, you can of course check it on YouTube, but also you can go to Forbes.com and type in DAG chain, and you will see big articles about the DAG chain, the Directed Acyclic Graph. This technology can do an unlimited amount of transactions per second. Okay, this is important, especially when you're speaking about mass market and usability in terms of people having the opportunity to use a coin to go to the restaurant, to pay the barber, to pay the taxi, just to get anything, like you get your hair done or to get your nails done or your eyebrows done. You can use the coins to even buy a bottle of water and not have to wait 15 minutes to over an hour for the transaction to be confirmed. This is important with regards to this technology. So guess what? Even from the perspective of the fact that the DAG technology is lightweight, very, very efficient. As a matter of fact, we consider it a green coin with the technology. The transaction fees are way less. Look at the transaction fees for a $3 US cup of coffee. The fees, you're seeing my screen. Look at it. But the DAG coin, it's little or no fees at all. That is powerful. As a matter of fact, the DAG coin runs on the same technology that IOTA runs on, Byteboard runs on, and I think another company called Hashgraph runs on. As a matter of fact, I think that's the name of the company, but doesn't matter. IOTA is like number 12 on the list right now using our technology with over $1 billion in market capitalization. So the fact is, ladies and gentlemen, a lot of people are using the DAG technology as a better option, lightweight option, less cost in terms of transaction fees and speed of transactions. Okay, this is very important, and this is why, because look at the technology here. With the DAG technology, ladies and gentlemen, we have no blocks to mine. There are no miners needed, and every new transaction helps to confirm the previous one. You will understand this over a period of time. There's no need for me to explain this, but what we have is an expandable chain that expands when scalability comes in. With the blockchain technology, everything goes one, another one on top of another. But with the DAG technology, as we do that one on top of another in terms of confirmation of transactions, once there's a lot of people in the system and the system gets sort of heavy, it spreads in different directions. And that's the best way I can explain it. But you will understand more when you listen and you do your own research. But this is the reality. So let's talk about DAG in a nutshell. What is DAG coin? One of the products that we have at the Success Factory. Well, we have 9,000 units, 9 billion, that is 9 billion units, 9 billion coins, okay? We are a decentralized model. We are continuously developing the platform, which is easy to use and based on the DAG chain technology. We have a vast ecosystem, eco-friendly, I said it before, green. It's really not as much energy to produce, 24/7 transactions, fast transactions, valuable, secure, minimal transaction fees, and of course, a fair distribution. Our intent is to become the most usable cryptocurrency in the universe. So if you are this thing and you are into cryptocurrency at all, this is one of the cryptocurrencies you should absolutely look at. I'm not saying just to be biased to the coin. I'm just saying based on our ecosystem, based on the amount of people that we have in our company, the amount of customers we have, the fact that this company is already in 189 countries with people all over the world. I think this is a coin you should look at. As a matter of fact, doing this recording, the present value of the coin is only 10 cents euros. Could you imagine that? Well, let me explain how the DAG coin is different from other cryptocurrencies. No miners, okay, it's predefined. It's eco-friendly, no waste of electricity. You know how much electricity it is in terms of mining, how it's really expensive. A lot of people start mining, but they stop mining because it's too expensive. Fast transaction, low transaction fees, and it's also easy to use. It's exceptionally growing all around the world. I told you we are in 89 countries already, and you are seeing the red DAG coin everywhere. So I'm excited about what's happening here. Of course, as a company, 1% of our total sales revenue is donated to charities around the world. And I think this is something of immense value that some people would like to know actually what we do. So guess what? How can regular people find out about what we do at the Success Factory? Well, a lot of people ask all the time, what is cryptocurrency? Because they don't know. A lot of people ask all the time, what's going on with Bitcoin? How did I not hear about Bitcoin? Well, it wasn't a business model designed for the masses. You know what? Actually, here's how you can actually get started with this company: by enrolling in the SkillX platform. We have two ways you can get started. One is by actually buying the coins, and the second is by actually buying into your personal growth and development and your education via SkillX. You can go to skillex.com, skillex.com, to find out more, because we have topics on sales, public speaking, mentorship, and the financial world. Wow, a lot there. Setting up your business, how to run a business, traditional marketing, and more, even forex trading and leadership and stuff, ladies and gentlemen. And of course, we teach on cryptocurrencies. This is something very, very reasonable to start, and very extremely reasonable, as a matter of fact, to maintain. But what we actually use is the MLM business model. And let me tell you why we chose the MLM. Because people can get paid directly without the big corporate middleman who takes a lot of the chunk, okay? Could you imagine having the opportunity to speak to people one-on-one and collect cash directly, not through a third party? This MLM industry is also a rapid growing, over $200 billion industry. This is why we choose this way, to bring the business to you, okay? 65% of people in the world are customers anyway. So hey, if you can be the one to bring the goods and service to them, why not get paid for it? You know what? Offers income to 150 plus million people around the world. We give people an opportunity to make it. We give people an opportunity to win. We give people an opportunity to become financially free using the MLM business model. Last but not least, people trust people. They don't trust ads. You know, your friend tell you something to eat or drink to help you lose weight, you're gonna quicker, you listen to your friend than an ad, because you saw how big your friend was and how small she is or he is now. You say, now, what is it you're doing? Well, you know what? I'm taking this drink, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. You're gonna quicker listen to that person before the ad on the television. So this is why we actually choose this model. It is not because we are trying to create a pyramid type of business or a scam. It is simple sense, common sense. This is the better route to bring the business and build a community, and also sustain the community that we are building. So these are some of the reasons why people choose multi-level marketing, and mainly it is because they can really help them, improve their lifestyle. I'm saying that because this is the reality, okay? I'm so happy to speak about this. I'm so happy to give you this opportunity, because there are millions of people around the world who have chosen multi-level marketing, and a lot of them have been extremely successful. With network marketing also, you can earn active income and you can earn passive income. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a beautiful compensation plan giving people the opportunity to earn at the Success Factory. But this call or this webinar is not to give you that. The person who gave you this opportunity, just look at this video, is going to get with you and sit with you and speak some about your network strategies and how you can strategize and how you can really make money. But the reality is, ladies and gentlemen, our SkillX platform, our skills exchange platform, which is skillx.com, in my opinion, is second to none, where we have a beautiful community to interact with over 15,000 people. It's a real life community. It's not copy and paste information you get, but it's real stuff, active, living organism. It's really powerful. And of course, ladies and gentlemen, we can also decide to make history together with the coin. As a matter of fact, right now, I believe the coin value is going to increase tremendously, but more importantly, maintain a stable value that one day you can have a coin that is mass market usable everywhere in the world. Let's make history together, ladies and gentlemen. I'm really happy that you decided to look at this video. Feel free to contact the person who got you to this call, because it is action time, ladies and gentlemen. You take action by deciding to either be passive or I can just be active. If you are passive, it's okay. If you are active, it's even better. So thanks again for being on this video. Get back in touch with the person who invited you to give you some information about the Success Factory, SkillX, and Dalcoin. Have a great one. Look forward to seeing you very, very soon somewhere in the world. Anderson Chester here. It has been my honor. God bless.